Welcome back, Insomniacs. Today we have an electric matchup lined up between the Cowboys and the Saints. I'm going to be playing the part of Sean Payton. Spencer's going to be playing the part of Jason Garrett. And Ian's going to be the guy that judges this boxing match. So let's start with Ian. Are you ready to go, buddy?
Yeah, I think the real question is, are you guys ready to go? Big NFC matchup.
Big NFC matchup. Spencer, Jason Garrett, I should say. What's your thoughts on this matchup?
Without going into it, this is a huge game for Jason Garrett and the Cowboys. If Jason Garrett can win this game, it would go such a long way to winning this division, because you look at the Dallas Cowboys and many people are penciling in this game as a loss. The Dallas Cowboys in the division right now are 2-1 in the race. They also have that win over the Eagles. So as long as the Cowboys can defeat the Eagles in a couple of weeks, it will obviously go a long way. But they can lock up this division pretty much very soon if they are able to win both if they're able to beat the Saints at home, and then they're able to beat the Eagles. So the Cowboys have been home for a whole month now, and it's a pretty good spot to be in if you're a Cowboy fan, just being at home for a whole month like this.
I'll say this about this game before we get into it. The Cowboys, if they win this game, which I'm not picking them, but if they win this game, they will win the division. I will say that, because that will get them to 7-5. They will now have all the wind at their backs, and they play a much easier schedule after that. So, yes, I agree. If they win this game, they'll win the division. But let's jump right into it. You want me to start or you?
Well, they still have to go to the Colts, though, which is a scary game.
The thing is with Dallas is, like, you just take a look at the NFC East. Washington's quarterback just went down. You just beat them, so you own the tiebreaker. Philly, they're just really shaky too, because you have all the injuries on defense, and they barely squeaked by the Giants. And right now the Giants are kind of out of it at this point. So
you're 1-1 with Washington.
Yeah, but right now the Cowboys, if the season were to end today, Dallas would win the division. So you do own if you guys both were to win out, Dallas would have the upper hand.
Right.
So they control their own destiny. But I'm going to start. I'm Sean Payton. I'm aggressive. I'm going to come out. And, I'm going to tell you what we're going to do to win this game. We're going to do what we've been doing the last 10 weeks, because we've won 10 in a row. And quite frankly, we're the best team in football. We got a plethora of weapons with Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara. You can't stop our offense. And a lot of things and one thing that goes overlooked with our offense is how effectively we stop the run and run the football. We're the number one ranked run defense in football. We're only giving up like 3.5 yards a carry, and we jam it down your throat. I think we have the 6th most rushing yards, and Drew Brees has been the most efficient passer in all of football this year. 29 touchdowns. He's only got 2 picks. He leads the league in QB rating. He's got like a 127 QB rating. Completion percentage over 76%. He's got otherworldly statistics. He's the MVP. We're going to continue to set him up with efficient opportunities by pounding the ball. And granted, it's on the road. We're not the same team on the road, but you know what? We haven't lost all year on the road. We still have a very good offense, and our defense is getting better week after week. We're like a runaway freight train. We're going to run away all the way to the Super Bowl. We're the best team in football this year. We are. There's no denying it. And quite frankly, we're the best team in football dating back to the second half of last year. We, of course, run into that nonsense in Minnesota where it bounced off, landed in Diggs' hands by the miracle of God. If it wasn't for that, we'd be going for our 2nd straight Super Bowl, because you could bet your ass we would have beaten the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC title game. And that's it. We're going to come out. We're going to continue to do what we do, and you're not stopping us.
All right.
Go ahead.
All right. I look at you guys, and I look at this New Orleans game, and my personnel of the Dallas Cowboys, I really think we have great personnel. I think that Leighton Vander Esch, you can argue, is the rookie of the year for defensive players. He, again, had a very good game against the Redskins. He had an interception against the Atlanta Falcons. He's a really good linebacker. Jalen Smith is an elite linebacker from Notre Dame as well. Up front, we have DeMarcus Lawrence. We have Malik Collins, Tyrone Crawford. We are 5th against the run, and we are going to be playing at home. We are great at playing at home. I don't think the Cowboys, other than the Titans, have lost a home game all year long, and we are even better at defending the run in front of our home fans, which we're going to feed off of. When you look at the wide receivers in this game, the Cowboys have better weapons than the New Orleans Saints. Amari Cooper, who everybody criticized my owner for making that move, he had 176 yards and 2 touchdowns against a good Washington Redskins defense. So Amari Cooper is going to hurt you guys because you're 30th against the pass in the NFL.
Well, there's a reason for that. The reason we're 30th against the pass is because teams are always playing catch-up and they have to throw the football. But you mentioned that Amari Cooper is the best. Maybe I misunderstood you. I think you said that Amari Cooper was the best wide receiver in this football game. Michael Thomas isn't only the best wide receiver in this football game. He's the best wide receiver in football, period. The guy's got almost 1,100 yards. He's been dynamic all year. Michael Thomas is a stud, and he's much better than Amari Cooper. But go on.
But we have Byron Jones that is going to be going up. Byron Jones is one of the top flight cornerbacks in the NFL. He is going to be able to guard a Michael Thomas in this matchup because Michael Thomas isn't the freakiest of athletes. He's a very good receiver. But then other than that, you guys have to make do with tight ends like Josh Hill and Dan Arnold. And the fact is, on the road, you guys played Minnesota well on the road, but Minnesota isn't the same team as last year. And then you were barely able to get by the Ravens on the road. So, again, this game is on the road, and you guys are great at home. If this game was in New Orleans, I think it would be a very difficult game. But Zeke Elliott is getting 4.9 yards a carry. We're going to slow it down. We're going to play keep away. We're going to get Dak Prescott playing play action. He's going to be doing play action fakes. And with Amari Cooper, Dak Prescott has been good these last 3 games when he finally has a number 1 receiver. Against Atlanta, he was very good. Against the Eagles, he was good. And then, of course, on Thanksgiving, he was absolutely fantastic, even getting a rushing touchdown. So Zeke Elliott is going to get the football a lot. And Dak Prescott and Amari Cooper are going to make big-time plays against this team. This is the best defense you will face all year long. And we are 5th in rushing defense. We have a top 5 defense in Dallas, and it's going to be very difficult for you guys to come in and win this game.
I mean, yes, I respect your defense. I actually think it's one of the more underrated defenses in football. But you're not stopping our offense. Nobody has, nobody will. Our offense is dynamic. It's electric. And another weapon you didn't mention out of the passing game, probably the best dual-threat running back in all of football outside of Saquon Barkley, Alvin Kamara. And you're not stopping him either. Alvin Kamara is better than any weapon you have, to be quite frank. We are going to destroy you and destroy this game.
You're not acquainting for our linebackers of Van Der Esch and Jalen Smith.
And he's gone up against other great linebackers.
Linebackers stop running backs. That's what happens. Linebackers stop running backs, and defenses win championships. Kamara didn't even have that good of a game against Atlanta, by the way. So he's hot and cold.
We'll see in Dallas on Sunday.
Plus, we have everything to play for. You guys have nothing to play for. You guys are the best.
That's not true. We're playing for home field advantage. And if you have to go into New Orleans in the playoffs, we're going straight to the Super Bowl.
Right, but you guys are the best team. But nobody's giving the Cowboys a chance. It's us against the world. It's Garrett against the world.
We'll find out on Sunday. I want to hear Ian's thoughts.
First and foremost, it's going to be a good game. And I cannot wait to see this matchup. I'm not a fan of the Saints. I'm not a fan of the Cowboys, but this is a game where I feel as I'm probably going to watch every snap. Okay, I'm pumped up for it. But as far as this debate goes, and before I give my winner of the debate, let us know in the comment section who you guys had winning this debate, and also who you guys also have winning the game in general. So that being said, I'm going to give this debate to Spencer because I believe that Spencer's points that he brought up about the linebacking core, Jalen Smith, Leighton Van Der Esch, being able to cover the running backs out of the backfield. I like it. How Dallas is at home, I think that's going to play a factor. I think Dallas, at the end of the day, they need this victory more than the Saints. And at some point, the Saints are going to slow down. At some point, they're going to have a loss. I mean, look at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Me and Chris, we talked about it before. I actually picked the Broncos in that game because at some point, even though the Steelers are better, even though they have a better coaching staff, they have better talent overall. When they play, they played on the road. It's just one of those. I don't want to call it a trap game, but at some point, the train stops, all right? And I think this is going to be the week for the Saints that they maybe will get slowed down a little bit. I think if the Cowboys can run the ball, I think they could just hold on to the football, and I think it's actually going to be, as crazy as this might sound, I think it's going to be pretty low scoring as far as the Saints go. I don't see them putting up 40 or 50 or whatever. But I definitely think Spencer won this go round.
And JC, it's now time for your prediction on the game.
Well, it's time for our prediction, right? Because all three of us, at this point in the video, we're all going to take off our coaching mask and give our honest opinions about this game. So, Chris, I'll let you actually take this one away first.
I would have much rather, to be honest with you, debated with the Cowboys in this matchup because it's almost impossible to debate for the Saints. Everybody knows what they are. Everybody knows they're this super powerhouse. So it's hard to bring up good points because you're just bringing up obvious facts. Yeah. Now, with the Dallas Cowboys going into this game, I agree with what a lot of Spencer said. And I hate saying that as a Giant fan. I think the Dallas Cowboys have a legitimate chance to win this football game. I really do. As a Giants fan, I saw them coming into our house. And we almost beat them. The final score was not indicative of how the game went. I think the Saints ended up winning by 14 or 15 points. But the Giants were in that game start to finish. And they gave up a late touchdown to Kamara. It was like a 60-yard run. But they're a beatable team on the road. The Saints are the best team in football. Nobody get it twisted. And if they're at home in the playoffs, they're going right to the Super Bowl. Nobody's going into that stadium and beating them, which is why I disagree with your point that this game doesn't mean as much to the Saints. I think this game means – it might even mean more to the Saints. Because if I'm the Saints coach and I'm on the Saints team, I know that if we get home field advantage, nobody is beating us. So that is a huge reason to play tough for the rest of the year. But I like the way Dallas is playing. I like their ground attack with Zeke. I like that they've put a lot more emphasis on it the last few weeks. And you've seen the effect Cooper has had on the offense. So because of all those factors, I think Dallas will keep it close. I'm still picking the Saints, but I think Dallas will keep it close. And I agree with you that they're going to keep the Saints down to 30 points. I think it's going to be 27-21 Saints.
Fair enough. Spencer, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a tough matchup. Drew Brees is a lot clutcher. I worry about Jason Garrett in this spot getting too conservative when he needs to play. I mean, the Cowboys need to get off to a good start. You can't play catch-up. Dak is not going to play catch-up with Drew Brees in this offense. It should be interesting in this modern NFL if you can keep the game low scoring. And this game is very important to the Saints to win home field. But if Jason Garrett doesn't win this game and he loses to the Eagles, he's absolutely getting fired. There's no reason for the Cowboys to lose this division to the Eagles. And as a Giants fan, I don't want to see the Eagles win the NFC East again. And I think the Cowboys are the most viable option to defeat the Eagles in the NFC East with Colt McCoy being that quarterback. I look at this game. I think the Cowboys are going to win 27-23. It's going to be a shocker. It's going to be a huge momentum boost for this team and for Jason Garrett.
Fair enough. I actually am going with the Dallas Cowboys as well. I think the Cowboys are going to shock a lot of people on Thursday night. And I just feel as though, like I was saying before, at some point the Saints hype train is going to stop. They're going to get one more loss before the end of the season. I think the Cowboys defense will be the best defense that they've played so far through the season. I think that might be a little bit of a shock to the Saints locker room. Not saying that they can't put up points on them. I'm just saying if the Cowboys get off to an early lead, right, if they receive the ball, if they, hold the time possession and play good defense. They have so many players on defense. Spencer brought up Byron Jones before, Leighton Vander Esch, possibly defensive rookie of the year, Jalen Smith, Marcus Lawrence, all these guys. I think the Cowboys are going to win in a pretty close game. I'm going to go final score, Cowboys 27, New Orleans Saints 20.
Wow. You think they're going to hold – I got to be fair. I can't – I think it's going to be a close game. But I can't believe that you guys think they're going to hold the Saints to 20 and 21 points. I can't believe that. I don't see it.
You had them 27, didn't you?
I think the Saints will score between high 20s and mid 30s.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not counting them out. And if the Saints do go out there and, put up a lot of points, I'm not going to be stunned or anything like that because Chris, they are definitely a top team in football. I don't know if they're for sure the number one team. I would still give that to the Rams, and I know I might get some hate because the Saints beat the Rams, but
that's fair because the Rams went to New Orleans, which is why this game means so much to New Orleans because I don't think New Orleans they wouldn't be favored if they went to LA. That would be at best a coin toss. So I agree with you. If that's neutral field, they're probably almost dead even teams. But in New Orleans, New Orleans is better.
Yes, and the Rams came back in that game, 35-17. The Rams showed up in the third quarter of that game and actually looked like a better football team for a lot of the second half.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, that's the video. Me and Spencer both have the Cowboys. Chris is going with the Saints. Thanks so much for tuning in, and let us know down below in the comment section who you guys had winning the debate and also winning the game. So that's pretty much it. That wraps it up. Thanks so much for watching, and it's a wrap.
And if you like what you watch, please subscribe and be sure to check out Spencer's live stream Thursday night as he calls this ferocious matchup.